Hello again, it's Priscilla Batzell. I'm in Spring Hill, Florida. This is Expressionist Fluid Art Studio. This is the biggest acetate tool I've ever made, which is comparable to the palette knife that a lot of people use. But I'm going to try this today, and I might be completely whacked out of my mind, but we'll see. I'm going to give myself a good layer of PPG Speed Hide. I'm going to try not to worry too much about the middle. Maybe I'll put something in there and move some paint around so I have a slight coverage, which is ideal in my opinion because really the middle doesn't usually spin out very well. That was probably the exact wrong tool. But if I give it a little pressure, it will absolutely work. It's just that then it's going to pick up paint. And I'm going to have to throw it in the bucket. Alright, so get rid of that bubble and that bubble. Give it a brief, can I spin? Yeah. Spread my paint out a little bit. And maybe move it to the other side. Maybe I wasn't completely in the center. I'd like it to be somewhat even when I start this. Looks like my center is filling in whether I like it or not. Alright, so now I have a bunch of beautiful colors and I'm in the mood to paint with fall colors. Starting with my brand new, oh yeah, I'm a Colourate affiliate and there's a Colourate coupon code for 20% off below the video along with the link address of Colourate website. So I made up some Primary Elements orange peel and then added some gold sparkle to it. And I'm going to try and keep to the interior zone of the canvas because everything spreads out so much that you'll lose any paint on the outside edge. This is Poinsettia, which I'm liking stayed mixed. I don't think I even shook that. I'm beginning to think I want a little pink, but I think that the Cupids Crush, the Poinsettia was a Prizm Pour. The Cupids Crush is a Primary Element, and I did use this yesterday. Loved it. Doesn't really need to make any sense when it goes down. I'm going to sneak in a little bit of my favorite Marooned. Just to add some darkness to the whole concept. I've got Marooned is a Prizm Pour. Fandango is Prizm Pour. That's odd. I've got a lump of something misdirecting my paint's trajectory. Hopefully this works. I would like for this to work. I have some sour lemon. This is the part that I'm worried about the most. Sour lemon with a little bit of orange in it. I'm going to try and keep it away from that marooned because I think that'll make brown. The green will just make more green. I haven't used this color yet, and it's part of the Triple Sec. I think it's part of the Deserted Island Tropical Waters collection. And it's very neon. And it might be kind of neat. It might be more than kind of neat. It might be really neat. I know they seem like odd colors, but they do seem like autumn leaf colors. Now, I've got Saffron, which is a color Leslie made up for me because I mixed my Big Apple and my Orange Crush to make this wonderful deep red orange color. And now you've got it available to you so you don't need to mix it. I'm so missing my turquoises and my blues. I was thinking I was going to do something tree themed, but it'll be from a very odd trajectory if that's the way it turns out. I think I'm going to sneak in a little bit of the Sea Monster. Just because it's a very contrasting color. Please cross your fingers and pray this isn't horrible. But we're going to do a scoop and drag, and they turn out, in spite of me, they turn out really well, or not. This is some Baltic Amber, which may or may not come out. Yep. I like that. That's beautiful. And I also gave myself permission to use a little wintergreen. And then I'm going to hit it with some Bling It Primary Elements Golden Maple. These may be the wrong colors to put together and try and swipe. So I'm ready for disappointment. I guess I shouldn't be. Let's move some colors out of the way right now while I can, before I add that Bling It. Oh, I had some Bonfire too. I haven't used Bonfire since I started with Colourarte. Well, I used to use it a lot more back then anyway. This Bling It Golden Maple is maybe my favorite gold, although I have 5 or 6 favorite golds. I'm going to put the Saffron back. And just because I said I wanted to use the Bonfire means I'm going to use the Bonfire. Let's hope it... Let's give it a little bit of a... Yeah, it's still all together. So in theory, I should get a lot of coppery colors. That, get these out of the way. And I suppose if I miss my blues enough, I can do something with that. So let's grab both the black and the white of the Floetrol with Amsterdam, both Amsterdams. And I have some P.E.o iridescent gold that may or may not be working the best. Oh, I have some phthalo turquoise from Atelier that I've mixed with Australian Floetrol too. And being that I have such a large palette, it's not a palette knife, what should I call it? It's my acetate tool. So I'm going to use the gold in between. And I'm not going to try and cover anything. And then the black. I have some magenta too, but I haven't gone there. And I know this is kind of runny, but I think it'll be okay. That might be a lot of paint. I kind of want to take some of it off and then pick it up again. So I'm going to let it run down. That way I have 2 doses. Scrape it off. I'm going to pick up, I probably don't need as large a spreader as I've got, but since I've got it, I might as well use it. Because I wanted to anyway. There. And those things can go in the bucket. And we'll let those develop for a moment. They're looking really beautiful. And if I grab a couple palette knives, then I can do scoop and drags. Sometimes it's the only best thing to do, in my opinion, with areas that weren't swiped. And I invariably wipe off my palette knife on the edge of my canvas because as I spin, that paint will be spun off anyway. Plus it helps fill in a little bit. And it's part of my experimental nature. I'm not used to using green, so seeing it is kind of bizarre. But I like it because it pops. That yellow-green color is Triple Sec. I don't think I said what it was. And it's sort of like, it sort of looks a little bit like it doesn't belong. I always wanted some colors on the outside edge, but I haven't thought it through well enough to really know what I'm doing yet. But I certainly don't mind moving anything toward the edge, like so. And I might even be tempted this time to put a little more paint in there, because I usually wind up doing that anyway. So I'm just basically preparing for that. I want a different palette knife, and I have a square tip palette knife, and I wound up thinking about that today. I haven't tried that yet. It'd be better if it didn't have any paint stuck to the back of it though. You know, the best thing to clean a palette knife with is another palette knife, because they're sharp. So here goes nothing. This is my first time with this square. I think if I wipe it off, hope my studio rag is not damp. Looks like I left my studio in a hurry yesterday. I've been busy today. This is the only painting I've done so far. See if I can cover up that triple sec a little bit. Better used in something else than this, I think. I want to wipe off that tool. That might be a really good palette knife. For helping spread out the paint. So it was fun to try something for the first time. Alright, so we've got one side covered. I think I'm inclined to grab a skewer and throw a spiral or two into the mix, because if you put spirals in early enough, they spread out really wonderfully. But you have to check the centers, because I almost always invariably wind up with a bubble. One more. If you wait a minute, which is more than I'm capable of, I'm not a very patient person, I guess. But if you wait a minute, the paint will slide down off of your palette knife. I'd like to be able to just utilize all the paint on the palette knife, but that doesn't always work out. But more and more often lately I'm using a straw. I like making spirals with straws. Alright, I've got this one other area. And I think I can get away with spreading that paint right out there. And I even have some more over here. I really can't wait to see what this looks like. Alright, I've got 3 minutes to spin this out for you. I'm going to throw my tools in the bucket and hope, well, most of them, maybe none. Maybe I want to have a couple of tools handy for something like this over here. I can't be in too much of a hurry or I'm going to wind up spreading weird little marks places they don't belong. But this is a good start. I'm going to throw up my barrier. Interesting colors. Maybe I'll do one with trees. We're having a autumn, I don't know if it's called an educational event, but we're having an autumn event at Colourarte. I'm not sure how many artists are participating yet, but there will be prizes. Definitely. So what should I tell you while I'm spinning out of control? Please give me a thumbs up. If you like and share what I do, I really appreciate it. When you watch longer, you're big assistants. That was a great spin. This is my therapy. I always say that now. But you got to be careful because every once in a while, paint goes flying off. Fortunately, it hits stuff that isn't a problem. Those are awesome colors, but I think I need to keep spinning just to get that. To stop looking like fingers. And I see that if I put the top back on this, that I can probably also fill in this gap that I just noticed. Or I could just be smart and take the paint that I just put down and share it right here with this corner. I'm hoping my palette knife isn't too schmutzy. I'm going to make a little bit of a mess. One more spin. 1 is equal to 3 in my case, because I never know how many 1 really means. I do use my freestanding cardboard barrier as a break. That's what that weird noise is, if you ever wondered. Like so. I'm wondering if I should keep going or not. But I'm also wondering if maybe I have a skewer handy to do whatever I might want to do other than pop the odd bubble. I've got 1 minute left and I've told you most things, but the most important thing of all is that there's a 20% off Colourarte coupon code below the video. And other than that, check my link tree for Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter links, Facebook groups, Expressionist Art Studio, Fluid Art Appreciation. Might be a couple subtle spirals. I think I could be pretty close to done, but I see that my corner is not completely spun out. I'm going to snag some paint. And say, I love you guys, you inspire the heck out of me. Check out my Amazon link, my 2 books are there because I can and Unlimited Possibilities. First and second 100 videos I made for YouTube and all the processes and tools. My Amazon link is a great place to shop and find those books. Thank you for all the kind words in the comments. Thank you for the donations that help keep me painting. I want to be able to show this to you before we're gone, and I wanted to shimmer it at you, but I'm not sure.